Dark Ages is. Colonialism.
Hate.
Racism.
Digression.
Classism.
You know, some people think that niggas are rare, but I beg to differ. Cause just yesterday, I saw a nigga. He fed sweet candy lies to his lover, made her believe that there was no other, let her pledge her love, change the tune with the child. All the while, this nigga's out here running wild, spreading his empty promises around. Like a bad farmer, he's carelessly throwing his seeds on the ground. Till one day he began to reap what he sowed. So he gathered up his crap and brought it all home. And she, so enamored with his lies, took him back. Now she too is paying the price for all his slack. You know, some people believe that niggas are an endangered species, but I beg to differ. You see, just 2 hours ago, I walked past this crazy little nigga. She was standing on the corner, holding down her fort, not caring if her occupation could take her to the courts. Her materialistic mindset provides her with the drive for her to take her customers on that downtown ride. She's got that red light special, but ain't no stopping her tonight. She says she'd do whatever it takes to keep Mr. Louis and Sir Gucci in her life. Even if it means selling her life or giving up her chances of living a meaningful life. Closet full of designer, but still she feels empty inside. She's only living for herself, and for that cause she will die. Someone once told me that niggas don't live here anymore, but I beg to differ. You see, just last week, I saw yet another real-life nigga. Dude was sitting on the wall, he was waiting for someone to bait. A young boy was, cause he rules a man with dreams so great. Selling him false hopes and daft wishes, sprinkled with ice-coated street dreams and drugged-out bling, made the boy respect him for all the wrong things. The nigga passed the boy a package and told him, "You now work for me. Go make my money and you'll have all my blessings." But all this nigga's blessings were curses in disguise, and he knew he was only sending the boy out to his demise. A couple of years later, that same young boy would probably get shot, and this nigga would be looking for a new kid to put up. Someone once told me that all niggas were dead, but I challenge you to open up your eyes instead. Slavery is still alive and well, and these niggas are only creating a crazy type of hell. Young black children growing up with minds enslaved, taught to love self and push down their brothers, insaniated how we've worked so hard to overcome, but these niggas only seem to live to make that work come undone.
Negroes, niggas, and colored. Those are the names that have been written on our name tags and body bags. But we embraced it. Then the words were engraved into our faces and ejected into our bloodstreams, until we dreamed street dreams. But the word nigga has seeped into our black seams to the point where nigga is common vocabulary, as if we've become an adversary and pushed aside pride and reside in self-deterrence, while we reduce ourselves to niggas and introduce self-abuse to our reality, which means that this blackberry's juice is sweet no longer, as we've killed black dignity and went from living as kings and queens to being hung on nooses crafted from shoestrings, because we've beat ourselves into the stereotype of a nigga.
Yersinia pestis, the causative agent of the bubonic plague, also known as the Black Death, transmitted by rats stowed away on ships, deadly, a pandemic of the 14th century. But today we have a plague of our own, of which we are the causative agent, worse than anything a bacteria can cause. This is another form of Black Death, implementing it and progressing from birth. We are already predisposed due to the color of our skin, normally acquired from exposure and learned behaviors, and without treatment, it only goes from bad to worse. Acute, chronic, and recurrent. This disease has a pathogenesis unto itself. Signs and symptoms include drug slanging, gun banging, rootin' tootin' bud boys, ignorance to one's own blatant ignorance, dogged out appearances, the birth of fatherless little boys and baby girls with daddy issues, fear of authority figures, and frequent appearances on the breaking news headlines. This widespread pandemic affects many but is limited to few. The infected seem to colonize projects, low-budget housing, and populate street corners. Diagnosis requires only a short conversation. Treatment and prevention involve high doses of knowledge, a change in mindset, and sometimes all they need is just a reason.
Dear brother, I stand here before you confused. Underneath the clothes and the cologne, we both bear similar skin tones. You were my friend through many years. We shared laughs and even some tears. But I see one day, a wave caught up and drifted you away. And then a new chapter was born, and I realized that you were really gone. And on a winter day I looked out and saw you, and couldn't recognize what you turned into. Expensive jacket and the hottest shoes, covered in meaningless tattoos. A shell full of abandoned dreams, and a smile that nobody ever really sees. All your siblings and friends that you knew slowly went farther away from you. Your age increased and so did your enemies. You grew colder, destroying families. Your guilt knocks, but you say fuck it. All that matters is the queen in your pocket. Elizabeth helps the genes grow fatter, so all the other women don't even matter. Considered a bloodthirsty monster by some, but you don't even know what you've become. I pray one day you look at your life before someone comes and snatches it away.
I return home and enter my own personal war zone, where I battle as if I'm in army fatigues daily. F-bombs dropped constantly. This house is far from home, far from comforting. This is his region, his kingdom, his domain, and I am just a lowly peasant plowing his fields reliably. Am I king? He rules cruelly. You see, he has no love for me, but claims he does, and shows it with every blow he deals. Mentally, verbally, emotionally, physically. Physical blows, physical wounds. They show the most, hurt the least. They can be hidden, they are easily covered up, but these scars inside, they shape me into a broken woman, and I can't hide from me. And I can't seem to hold off the feeble attempts to justify what I know is wrong. And I can't seem to stop myself from repeating comforting untruths like, but he loves me. And these issues we'll get through, right? Late nights I muse and contemplate, plan my escape. Nights after he sleeps, I sit up there diaring as my only form of release. Because I am trapped here. Thrown underground as believes I should be. I am a prisoner of war of the exclusive sort. And I am subjected to daily torture. Every time I open my eyes, every time I enter that door, but see I cry visibly no more. All the tears have been beaten out of me. I cross the threshold, and here are the words that define me. Call me dumb bitchin'. Call me punching bag and dumb bitchin'. Come here, you fucking slut, I'ma spit your goddamn lip. And I attach and huddle into the minuscule piece of existence that he has whittled and carved me into. And pray that today is the day that he'll just kill me. And pray that today is the day that he'll just make it all stop. I wish that it would all just stop. I can make it stop.
It's like his knuckles and her body in a tug of war with her ribcage, because these days have blocked out the sun, as clouded eyes gaze upon bruise after bruise that she views as afflictions of affection, because she's afraid to lose the man she loves. But her body and soul stays battered and beaten as she takes every beating like it was deserved. Shaken with words and afraid to strike back because any minute he might snap. She avoids every mirror because she fears the view and can't stand seeing her skin draped in black and blue. The scars or blemishes she wishes will vanish, but they stay concealed, and she thinks no one understands what she feels. But still, the relationship is like a canvas cloaked in bloodstains, bleeding her pain. It's clear there is no way to defeat this, because she chooses to corrode in the corner, speechless.
She lies there, on the ground, broken. Broken in spirit, broken in body. No will to live, nothing left to give, because he took it all. All of her life, all of her love, all of her sanity. Her heart is fading into darkness. Bitch, slut, worthless trick, she hears all of this, as her mind plays in reverse the act leading up to this bloody scene. She thought back to the time she threatened to leave, and she would have, if she would have known it would all end like this. Her mind plays back to her wedding day, till death do us part, she hears his voice say.
Within the oceans of the Atlantic lies a Frankenstein, forged by volcanic rock and fate, designed by higher power, beaten, destroyed, and decayed by man. Rotten wood gives away, breaking as the water rises. scalding our ankles. This ship's days above end, and years under the surface begin. Life continues in this man-made hell. They want us to believe in the quick fix that it'll all blow over. We give our trust to this repairman, a sad mix of low experience and blind shots. Who hired this bastard again? These suits only see the red when it mixes with the green, and the masses that the mass never sees or hears anything. It was some of us that let death into the door. A brother catches a bullet, and justice weeps in pain. That weep is never caught, only cancelled out by fear. We refuse to catch this fallen dagger and risk our wrist. This land was once a retreat, but it now tosses and turns until something else is uncovered, a corpse of a haven, because all the pink sand can't bury the bodies. So let's true to this rope. Don't let hope leave yet. Find the strength and pick yourselves up. Brothers and sisters, let us rip through our sewn lips and free the words that war against the dark.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust, flashes of clashes while misery fuels unjust. And the sermons continue, as these political pastors that whisper us to please need to open their eyes and realize that they're the disease, preaching perilous passions that are dangerous weapons. So the question remains, should we be alarmed? Soon we'll have no choice but be armed, because these simple-minded songbirds sing the songs of wisdom, but it's no secret that society might be better off if we silence them. It's hard to decipher the fiction from the facts, so please, can I get some clarity? As I'm filled to the brim from being force-fed disparity. They shout white lies in our throats when I crave black truths. And it seems the pathetic, empty promises are just a systematic way of proving that the words are prosthetics. They deal the cards with no spades, clubs, or diamonds to guard our hearts, and in the end, we don't get jack back from these jokers, as they want us to despise the suits and ties, while they trump us with lies. Their game is to pull rabbits out of hats, then aim and deviate to make issues vanish fast. With one swipe of the wand, they're leaving constants of the past. So close your eyes, abracadabra, as they divert focus with the hocus pocus, then escape a manifesto, presto, while the acid rain stands the skin of our people, because we're showered by lethal spit from the lips of authority figures. So how can some say they're as serious as a heart attack, when realistically the chest cavity stores the heart of black? So go back and check the records, cause these fabricators keep crowing like blackbirds, but they lack words that speak true conviction. Cause it seems that lying has become an addiction, and without permission, they're borrowing misplaced souls and splashing it with black art.
I'm tired of the older generations talking about back in my day. But dear sir, ma'am, this is your day no longer. You've thrown it to the generation that you've raised. And you criticize this today, but you forget that you are the ones that brought it up. And you've been grooming us incorrectly, incompletely from jump. We've been taught not to fight for we, but to live for me. We've become a selfish generation. No village has raised this child. And we are ill-equipped to run this island, not with what you've given us. With the non-stop criticism, nice cars, and big buildings, when will we get past this materialism? And when will you start caring about my generation and help us to mold the future that is us? Help us to make it, alter it, change it, because we are it. But it seems to be of no dire concern to you. And now we have Bermudian skyscrapers blocking our light as we enter our own dark ages, both mentally and physically. But when will we realize that we are the light at the end of that tunnel, and we are the window that opens when that door closes? It seems like never. So come on guys, who's with me? Let's run this island paradise straight to hell. We stopped loving it as we should a long time ago.
Dark Ages is colonialism,
Hate,
Racism,
Digression.
classism.
Dark Ages is